What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're over here at Siege and Niuzao Temple, and I'm going to show you guys how to get gold challenge mode for it. Now, as you can see here, I'm actually already in the middle of it, and the reason for that is I'm actually not in the middle of it, I'm getting ready to do it. Basically, as soon as you start the challenge mode, you should go in there and pull the first pack, and then kill the first pack of resin. And what that's going to allow you to do is kill the first pack of Mantid very quickly, and you can reset it, and personally, this is how you get realm best, is you have to basically carry this into through the entire time, but as you can see here, this is going to make killing this first pack a lot easier because we're going to have this extra 50% damage buff. And so obviously you want to do that. So as soon as you kill those, what's it called? Those resin pools or resin globules or whatever, you reset the challenge mode, then you restart it again very quickly so you can take that buff into the next one. And then I personally let it fall because we're just trying to play it safe here, and then we kill the next pack of resin globules. Now the mobs that we just killed earlier a second ago, the casters do two abilities. They cast a stun, and they also cast a resin shell. And basically the resin shell makes makes the mobs inside the resin shell not take any damage. And so if they cast resin shell, you need to pull them out of it, and you can also dispel the stun that they channel onto people. As soon as you kill that pack, you need to go across over here and pull this next pack of resin. And basically, this next pack of resin is kind of tricky because if you kill all of them at the same time in the same way that you killed the first pack, you're going to die. You will die. And so what we opted to do here is only have the tank do the DPS here. And as you can see how our health is going to go down pretty quickly just with one explosion. And as you can see, we're having a hard time keeping up. We've got Healing Tide Totem up, and so it's not really that big of a deal. And then we pretty much finish those off, and we keep the buff. And so we have two sets of resin globules for the buff. And then you basically take both of those sets and you pop heroism and you burn down the first boss. Now the first boss is just going to be annihilated. He's going to be dead so fast it's not even funny. And so basically, this is really easy to do. You want to make sure that you kill him before your buff falls off. And after that, you pull this next set of resin. Our tank wanted to take the buff into the next pack. I didn't really want to, but he just kind of did it anyway. And so, in my opinion, I think you should let the buff drop between the first boss and the last pack of amber, but resin flakes or whatever. But it's up to you. If you think you can handle it with your healer, then you should do it because it makes the next pack extremely easy to do. As you can see here, everybody just went down very low just from one explosion. As you see here, there's the Amber Shaver and Amber Weaver, whatever, and they're getting killed very quickly. I'm getting 200 Ks on them in challenge mode, which is very good. Now, I say this in my other video. I don't really know how to play my rogue. I'm not very good at it. And so I'm going to give you guys my best kind of interpretation of how to play this as melee, but rogue is not my main character, so I'm going to make probably a lot of rogue-related mistakes. I don't have slice and dice up right now, just like L2P, things like that, and I don't know how to play my rogue very well, and that's why I'm kind of sticking to obviously things that you are pretty much basic to the challenge mode. If you know how to play your class, obviously you'll know what to use and when to use it. It kind of depends for everybody. As soon as you kill this last set of amber, and we waited to kill that last amber so we could keep the buff here, so we could have it for the entire time while we killed this pack. As you can see, there he came in there and we killed it. And basically, this is there's the resin shell, by the way, and you can do a lot of different things to get things out of there. And I think our shaman knocked him out. It was just flawless. After you kill these guys, you go to the next set of resin, and this is going to be the last set of resin that you kill. I think that we let our debuff drop here, so we didn't have to deal with a bunch of extra damage. Yeah, as you see, our debuff just dropped, and then we killed them again. Now what I did here is I ran ahead, and I opened up this little gate so we could start working on the warden up here, or this last guy that we have to fight and kill. And as soon as you kill him, yeah, he's a warden. And basically, as soon as you kill him, you start the timer for the second boss to be able to be activated. And so you want to kill this warden as soon as you can. I had thought that they had killed the resin flakes before I aggroed the warden, but apparently they didn't. I don't really know why it took them so long to kill them, but it doesn't really matter. At this point, basically you have to basically wait for this guy right here that I'm right next to. You have to spam click on him, and as soon as you can, you click on him and you start the event. Now, one thing that a lot of people might not know about is the gong. And a gong is the thing that you can see behind me at some points. And basically, you use the gong to speed up the rate of the waves. And so your healer should probably be using the gong as fast as they can. And your healer should also, healer's got a pretty big job. And the second boss, the healer should also be throwing down amber. See, like we had a purple marker, and that's where we were going to throw down our amber. And just so we could kind of keep it all in one place. And if you have down like 2 pools of amber, so like you throw one on top of another pool, your target does actually gain stacks quicker. And so for fighting the boss, it is good to stack up, big piles of amber. And as you can see, I just got a couple stacks down because I wanted to make sure that our healer didn't have too much to deal with. And basically, I just got a couple stacks down. Then I went down there and started helping them DPS. Now the waves are all the same as they were, and oh, there's the gong right there, as you can see. Whenever the gong becomes clickable, you need to click it as soon as you can, because obviously that's going to speed up the rate of the fight, obviously. And basically, then you pretty much just kill the demolishers, whatever. Yeah, whatever. I don't know, the ones that explode. I'm not really sure exactly what their name is. And basically, you kill those, and you want to stay away from them, like stay pretty far away from them, because if you don't, obviously they can potentially explode and kill you. We had a wipe because of that. Our warlock just got blown up because of it, and he thought he was far enough away, and he was not. And anyway, basically, as you can see here, more packs are coming, and our tank is trying to stop them inside of the pool so they get as many stacks as they can. Now the pools make whoever's in them take 10% more damage for 20 seconds, and it stacks up to 20. So you take up to 200% damage. The catch here is that if you stand on them, you also take 20 or 10%. You gain the same debuff as the mobs do, and so you want to make sure that you're kiting them or tanking them right on the edge if you're the tank. And if you're a melee DPS, you need to be making sure you're attacking from the front. Now, I know you will get parried, but it's better than taking 200% more damage, and the pools themselves do damage. And as you can see, the boss is starting, and we're all running up to the top because that's the best place to fight him, because then we can throw the amber back down. And basically the boss is pretty easy to deal with. He gains a stacking damage buff, and the damage buff is removed every single time he runs through amber. And so basically it's not even really a big deal if you're doing the fight correctly. And he also charges to a random member of your party, usually the farthest away. He usually does not charge to melee, but it's happened to me before. And basically, as soon as he does that, he'll do a whirlwind, and you want to move out of that as quickly as possible because it does a lot of damage. Maybe pop a cooldown as soon as it goes on you. It just kind of depends. And anyway, as soon as that happens, he'll run back to the tank, and at that point you want to make him run through the amber. As you can see, our tank kind of run through the amber. It's very, very well played positioning on the tank's part in here. As you can see, he made it to where I was able to still melee the boss from the behind, but at the same time the boss was also getting stacked, so everybody was getting what they wanted, except for, I guess, the boss. But as you can see here, we killed it pretty easily. Honestly, like, this is not really one of the harder ones. It takes a long time to do, and that's kind of one of the reasons why it is kind of hard. It's just like long, but in my opinion, I don't really think it's very difficult to do. And as soon as you do all that, as soon as you kill second boss, you come down here. Now there's a place that if you run into the wall, basically you don't get knocked back, and I don't really think it saves that much time. It might save a couple seconds, but we only beat the timer here by like 17 seconds. And I mean, as I said, like, I don't really know how to play on the road. Like, we're just playing on our alts, and I'm just kind of going through the strategy with you guys on, like, what really kind of needs to happen. If you're looking at realm best times, obviously you're going to need to be using a lot more effective strategies. But whenever the bombs are set to boil, you go ahead and you just stand right here, and what that's going to do is make it to where it's not going to knock you back. And I also put down Shroud of Concealment because we had somebody aggro that pack, and so, if you have an option to do that, you might want to. But if not, you want to just be very careful about aggroing that pack. And as soon as you get around here, we're going to wait for that pack to go away, and then we're going to just come around through here. You can see under this tree branch, or not a branch, that's a root. And anyway, then you're going to pull the third boss. And the reason you're not pulling him with the trash, you're not pulling the trash, is you're going to wait for the boss to go into his bombing phase. And then at that point, you're going to pretty much let the blow all the ads up with the boss. And that's the most difficult part of this fight. And our tank almost died, I think, but it was pretty clean. And the boss does two different abilities. He does basically the first ability he does is the blade rush, and basically he just throws a thing down, and like obviously there's a thing under you. You need to move out of it. If you don't move out of it, it kills you. Pretty simple. The second thing he does is called Tempest, I think, and basically it puts a debuff on you that absorbs healing. Yeah, there it is, and it does a pretty good amount of damage. As you can see, it took everybody to about 50% or lower, and so you basically just need to heal, and it absorbs healing also. And so whenever you heal somebody up enough to where the absorb is not on them anymore, it just goes away. As you can see here, he went up into his phase, and he's calling in for reinforcements, and right now we're waiting for the bombs to come in. And here we're also going to use Earth Elemental to where it takes some damage off the tank. And as you can see, there's some bombs. Bombs are coming down, and I'm using them on the DPS. And basically this is probably this is where it counts the most, that you're using these bombs like as efficiently as possible. The best case scenario is that your tank can pop a lot of cooldowns and tank them on top of the boss, so you can also be using the bombs on the boss. But the most important thing is that your tank doesn't die here, because if your tank dies here, you're pretty much going to wipe. Now, as you can see here, we've pretty much got all the ads dead. And another thing that's helpful here is that if you can kind of section off, like, I don't know, different players to kill different sections, as I said, of this of the room, and pick up bombs on those sections, will be very helpful. The tank also should be tanking these little ads on top of the boss, and the reason for that, the healer should also be on top of the boss, and the reason for that again is because the bombs can also blow up the ads, and it will just kind of save time. Now, after he takes a certain amount of damage, he'll leave his shield, and you just DPS him down again. Now, this is pretty easy to do. Like, at this point, like, you've pretty much already completed it, and depending on how much time you have left, you're pretty much going to know if you're going to be able to complete this instance or not in the gold time. Second transition is pretty much the same. There's not really much to it. You just need to make sure that you're picking up the bombs. And you should prioritize using bombs over anything else, because the bombs hit for normally like 500,000 damage. And in challenge modes, that's a very high amount, because obviously your gear is scaled down. And so you want to make sure that if there is a bomb up, you're throwing it at the boss. And also, I think at some point, it might have already happened, but I actually got hit by a bomb, and you want to make sure that those don't happen. The bombs will, they have like a little like exclamation point or something over their over the bomb, and whenever the exclamation point turns red, the bomb is no longer clickable, and you cannot longer pick it up, and a couple seconds after that, it'll explode. And so you need to be very careful with that. And so if you see a red, you see it turn red, you get the fuck away from it, because it almost killed me. And so it was like a huge mistake. I had to like, it was like a little cut thing here because I'm like using a new video capture software, and that's kind of like a problem that I haven't really fixed yet. But this is, you know, it's just not really a big deal. Anyway, at this point, you want to be focusing on the engineers and interrupting Burning Pitch as well as Crystallize. Burning Pitch is a dot that can be dispelled. Crystallize is a stun that only applies to people that have the Burning Pitch dot. And so you want to dispel dispel Burning Pitch and interrupt everything. But if you have to, you want to make sure that you interrupt Crystallize. Crystallize is the most important thing you can interrupt. At this point, I think we stopped what our healer get mana. Yeah, we did. And then we just kept pulling here. I think we have our tank die too, actually. It was very exciting. And because our healer was getting mana and our tank didn't really pop any cooldowns, and so he died. And that almost turned really bad for us, but we were able to kind of recover and get it done. But as you can see, like, I mean, the builders here that throw the bricks, is you have to run into melee range for them to actually stop throwing the bricks and actually attack you and follow you. And so make sure that if you're a tank, you're actually taking these with you as soon as that you as soon as you fight them. You're not just running next to them or just hitting them and getting aggro on them, because that will not make them actually stop moving from their location. And as you can see here, like this is just kind of like a gauntlet thing, not really gauntlet, but like little like hallway that you have to go through, and you can kind of clear it at your own speed. But what I usually do is we pretty much would pull to each engineer to where we're AoEing everything down and interrupting the engineer, because the engineers you can't really let them free cast because they're obviously going to cause you a whole lot of different problems. And at this point, we were just pretty much like we were kind of low on time, and so I was like, "Yo, we need to get this shit done." And so we pretty much ran in there and just pulled all the rest of everything, and it was a lot easier than the first time. It's like nobody really died or anything like that. And so, as I said, like I mean, these mobs don't really hit very hard. It's mostly just interrupting and controlling the engineers' crystallizes, and that's pretty much it. Now for the boss, at I think it's like 70 and 30% or something like that, maybe 70 and 40%. He's going to go and run over to the back or the other side of the hallway and cast like a thing that pushes you back, and it's like a gust of wind, and you need to interrupt that. So I chose the heroism on him, by the way, just because of like how we were on time. But you can also heroism on the third boss. Either one's viable. And first one, we had somebody with rocket boots come up, and as soon as he cast it, we had them interrupt it, and that was really helpful. The best thing you can have is having a healer do it, but we were just, there was just all kinds of shit going wrong, and so I didn't want to take a chance, and, we already had this done, like, it was in the bag, all we need to do is do the right thing, and so I didn't want to, play anything, like super pro or whatever. And as you can see here, I ran over here because I have burst of speed, and I'm going to interrupt his cast as soon as he casts it, and there it is, and so everybody can come back and basically just do as much damage to him as they can. There's also a debuff that he puts on you, and if you have a bar on your screen, a yellow bar, you need to jump until the yellow bar goes away. Our healer didn't jump until the yellow bar went away. I have no fucking idea why, but that's pretty much what happened. And so if you see him getting stunned, that's why. And at this point, you pretty much just DPS him down. There's no real way to wipe on this boss, honestly. He's really fucking easy. It's just basically minimizing the downtime in between whenever he goes from one side of the hallway to another, which, as I said, it's best to do as a healer, or if you have an engineer, to have an engineer rocket boost over there. A lot of different things like that. But as you can see, we got it. It was not really a big deal. That's actually pretty much it. You don't really need invis pots for this, so that is good. But that's pretty much all I've got for you guys. So if you have any questions about how this works, let me know. But other than that, thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.